All right, good morning, everyone. So this is the Skype Uzuri series. Today we have Piotr, who is currently in Bangkok. He's originally from Poland, but he's in Bangkok today. So how are you, Piotr?
Very good. I'm actually going to travel to Ho Chi Minh today, so you caught me with my bags packed.
All right. So how's the weather there in Bangkok?
Exactly the same as it is always, over 30 degrees, and the humidity level is around 80 something percent, which you can feel immediately.
All right. So we're just gonna go through the interview. So if there's any question you don't want to answer, just say pass. But what we're gonna do is that we're just gonna cover some topics that might interest the whole international community, because what we're trying to do is that we're trying to get everyone the international community to understand each other. So that's basically the objective. So I guess maybe you can do probably about quick 10 seconds of just introduction. You just let people know who you are.
Right, so my name is Piotr. As I don't know how many people know, but the reason why we know each other is that we work together. I'm responsible for international sales in one of the SAP partner companies.
Good. So one quick question, as I know in Poland there's a very big population with the name of Piotr. So what do you think about that?
No. That's just pure coincidence. You just happen to know a few people that have the same name.
Right.
I suppose that if I spent some time in Malaysia,
Yeah.
it would turn out that there's quite a few people named Zuri. And
Yeah. Unfortunately, there isn't. I wish there are, because at least people can pronounce my name easier. But even some Malaysian have hard time of pronouncing my name. So anyway, you're going to Ho Chi Minh. What's your opinion? We've seen in the news that crimes in Ho Chi Minh is going up, as the same is going up. With the economy is going up as well, but the crime is also going up. What's your opinion on that?
Well, actually, I don't think that I stumbled upon this particular news, but I would say that it has been a part of each and every country that has been developing. It has been a part of history of each and every country that has been and is developing. It has been the same here, for example, in Thailand. So a couple of decades ago, it was really safe place. But like this petty crime, like I know maybe shoplifting is not really a good example, but and battery is also on another side of the scale. But these small things like burglaries or possibility of getting mugged is, I think, just a natural part. There's a lot of people that feel a little bit disconnected from the rest of the society, and they think this is the only way out. So I as long as it isn't people turning towards killing each other and homicides, then I think it's quite okay.
All right. So, if you were to choose between Polish food and Asian food, like Thai or maybe Vietnamese food or something, which one would you choose?
Well, I'm not going to be patriotic. I strongly believe that I was born, when it comes to food, I was born in the wrong side of on the wrong part of the world. So I prefer Asian over Polish food. Of course.
What's your favorite Asian dish?
I will not be original here, but I will say that it's Tom Yum Kung. It's the pho soup, and there is this. And laksa. And the prata.
Laksa, okay, the Malaysia laksa, good. So, recently I believe you just had a baby, you just had a daughter. So, congrats on that. With your traveling schedule, how do you cope between, having a family and traveling? What motivates you, or how do you manage it?
Well, when I'm away, I don't have to manage anything, because I'm away, obviously. But well, of course, it is not easy, and it takes some time to get used to, especially for my wife. But I think she's doing pretty. I mean, she's doing an outstanding job. So obviously, that's it. That's that. And what was the other part of the question?
Now, obviously, what motivates you right now? It's like what motivates you, versus trying to control your scheduling plan, versus having to plan. I know work is work, but how do you prioritize and.
Yeah, well, like for example, maybe some time ago, I mean, over the past couple of years when I was traveling quite extensively, I wasn't really paying that much attention of where I'm spending my time, whereas right now, well, I can imagine that each and every trip that I'm doing, and already right now, each and every trip that I'm doing, I want this to be as effective as it possibly can. So no staying over the weekends just to maybe sightsee something, but just go somewhere, do what I have to do, and be back in order to help out with raising the kid. But also, it's not only about raising her, but it's first and foremost about the fact just to be. It's just about the fact of being next to her.
Yeah. I know one fact that that a lot of especially Westerners, you enjoy being in Asia. There's a lot of hospitality. There's a lot of opportunity as well. So what is your opinion, versus Westerners, being in Asian, which they also they do get a lot of privilege, versus the Asian community, or maybe the Eastern community, not being suppressed, but being controlled in terms of immigration. We're not talking about refugee, but in terms of immigration, being limited, to go to the Western world. What's your opinion on that?
Well, I mean, I think it works both ways. I mean, Asians or Southeast Asia, or yeah, that part of the world has ASEAN, and Europe has European Union, and these are just the means of controlling people that you pretty much know. That's long story short. When it comes to Westerners having privileges, I mean, well, I think I know what you're meaning, because the Westerners are, I think, quite a substantial part, or comprise, or their money comprise the substantial part of the GDP, due to the fact of the amount of money left in the tourism, at least, or only if we're talking about Asia. Whereas I don't really think that people from Asia are actually the ones that are really the most controlled in Europe.
Yep.
And the reason for that is, I mean, have you ever heard any Asian neighborhood trying to stand against police? I know, throwing flaming tires or doing riots. Of course not. So.
Yeah.
That I think that Asian communities, though, people are hardworking, and they are not, I think, as spoiled as Westerners. And if it was up to Asians, I don't think that they would want Westerners in their countries, just because Westerners, as a rule of thumb, have money. But it's also changing. I mean, if you take under consideration the data, especially from the past few years, where we have these countries which are really rapidly developing, like Vietnam that you mentioned. Like,
Yep.
even today, there's like 5 to 6% of people that have a car there,
Yep.
which of course is that the situation is totally different in Western Europe, and of course it's changing. So within, I think, 10, 15, or maybe not 10, but 15 to 20 years, we'll see a huge change when it comes to what is happening here in Asia. So I think it is a place to be, firstly, and secondly, I think that the differences between how Asians will be treated in let's say Western countries will change significantly due to the fact that.
Okay, all right. So, last question, maybe before we end this, if you were to choose, one country or one city that you would want to live in, and bring up with, a family, where would it be? Considering your international exposure that you've been, in many parts of the world. So, what would your choice, at the moment would be?
Bringing up the kid, or
Yeah,
me
the,
being
the, the, the whole family to work, so yeah.
Well, I think I would try to start with narrowing it down to the country, you know.
Okay.
Well, it depends on what you want. I mean, me being me, I think that I mean, when it comes to Asia, I know one place that is perfect for
Yep.
having a family working, and it's Singapore. I can't really imagine any other place that is better than that. If I was to go for a European location, I would go for. No, actually, I do have a problem with that. A few years ago, I would have said that probably right now, I wouldn't really go for Sweden. I would most probably go for Denmark, or maybe some, you know, small. Nah, Germany is also maybe not that good of a choice. I would go for Denmark when it comes to Europe.
Right, right, good. All right. So anyway, thank you for your time. So hope you have good trip. To and fro. So I'll see you soon, and thanks a lot.
Thank you, Zuri.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye bye.